Hello, everyone. I'm glad that you came out tonight on this cold January night to be here with us for this 2026 District 6 Community Meeting. I am thrilled to be here with you tonight. So before we get started, I'm going to have Councilman Spence say a prayer for us.
Let us pray. Father God, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for all your many blessings. We thank you for this time of fellowship and coming together to talk about our city and talk about District 6. And I just pray a blessing over our city, Father God, and protection over it and over Chapel as she stands before this group here and leading and being the council representative for District 6, Father God. And Father God, we just pray for our city. We pray for unity, Lord God. We just pray for a revival over our nation, our state, and our city, and over its leaders, Lord Jesus. We're thankful for Mayor Tyler and his presence here and others that are department heads, and we just pray your presence here tonight, Father God. And we just give you all the praise, glory, and honor. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
If you did not sign in when you came in, please, before you leave, put your name and email address at least down for me so that I'll have that, so that in the future that I need to contact you for meetings or any other information that I'm able to do so. There is a sheet, if you grabbed one, that has the agenda. It's going to go over what the items will be tonight that we will discuss. We hope to keep this meeting until about an hour. There is another sheet, if you picked it up, it's got my information at the top, phone number, email, and it has a lot of important information from the departments on that sheet of paper with their phone number. So if you have something go on and you need something fixed or dealt with, please call these numbers, reach out to them. A lot of times you can get it done quicker even than calling me, by calling these numbers on here to get immediate response. So there are two things on the city website I would like to discuss. When you go to florenceal.gov, you can click on a button that talks about the electricity outage. So if power's ever out, you want to know what's going on, go to the website, it will give you that information. There is also another tab that's very important, a lot of people don't know about, and it's called Report an Issue. You can click on that tab, you can report an issue, pothole, red light issue, pretty much anything that you feel is important that you would like to see corrected. I filled one out about a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's about 4 or 5 questions, very easy, takes about 2 minutes at the most to do. Anytime that you do that, you can always feel free to call me. You don't have to do that, but it's a great resource to have. You can also send me an email, a text, or a call, and just let me know that you have filled that out so that I can follow up. Of course, if you ever use that and you feel like that you have not gotten the problem resolved, always reach out to me. We have city council meetings twice a month, the first in the third Tuesdays. I would love for you to come, be a part of that with us. If you're unable to do so, you can watch that from YouTube. We have a YouTube channel you can follow. I would love your input. I'm here to represent you. So please call me. Let me know what you think. Let me know about decisions, the way you feel about things. I definitely want to hear from you. I am here to serve you, so please call or email me. I am always accessible and I will return your calls. I plan to listen hard and work to fix any issues. No matter how big or small, anything important to you is important to me. We also have a Facebook group, if you are on Facebook, called District 6 City of Florence Community Group. That page is for you so that you can get on there and communicate with other neighbors, whether it's a missing dog, wanting to know about storm damage, got a yard sale coming up, anything you want to use that page for, you're welcome to. If you have an HOA, I would love to come and be a part of your meetings if you would like to have me. I'll be glad to speak at those. I'll be glad to just come and sit and take notes so that I can help if there's any issues that I can help resolve. I plan to have these meetings 2 to 3 times a year, in the first of the year, the middle, and towards the end. That is the ongoing plan for now. If you're not aware of a number called 211, I would like to bring that to your attention tonight. That number can be used to call if you are a caregiver and need assistance, if you want to volunteer at Christmas time or sometime that you want to maybe help at a soup kitchen, or anytime you can call and they can help you get signed up to volunteer. If you ever know anybody that needs food assistance, sheltering, or medication, they can be helped through that as well. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Postal Service has made some changes. As of December 24th, 2025, they have started postmarking letters and packages with the date that they processed at the postal facility rather than when they were dropped off at the mailbox. So I wanted to make you aware of this so that nobody gets any late fees on their electricity bill. Since I do represent you here in District 6, I wanted to let you know some things that I'm involved in. So I am on the Planning Committee. I am on the Park and Rec Committee. I am the chair of the Utilities Committee. I am now on the Board of Directors for the Homeless Care Council. I am on the Planning Commission. I am on a board at the Salvation Army, the Spay and Neuter Coalition, and Friends of the Florence Lauderdale Animal Services. Anyone that is here tonight from Blackberry, Golf Course area, Plantation Springs, if you're having any problems with noise or radios being too loud, please call the golf shop. Let them know the golf cart number so that they can get that music turned down. If you continue to have any issues, please reach out to me. A few things that I have fixed in the past 2 months. Pothole repairs in the Cedars, a large pothole repair in Industrial Park, had a tree removed from a ditch behind Florence High School, which would have caused some flooding and some bad storms, and that would not have been good for those people around the area. So we got those fixed. I appreciate our street department, who has worked very hard and diligent to get these things done in a very timely manner when I have called. I have also set up a meeting with the people in Benbrook. We met yesterday with a contractor about some construction that was going on there and got some questions answered for them. I have a list of roads that are being paved in 2026. After the meeting tonight, if you would like me to check and see if your road is on that list or a road that you travel, I'll be more than glad to do so. This is not set in stone. It's not 100% guaranteed, but that is the plan for this year to get those done. At this time, I'm going to let Chief Holt come up and let him talk to you about traffic and safety.
Thank you, Mrs. King. Welcome, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Mike Holt, and I'm your Chief of Police. And I'm here to talk about some traffic issues. I've got some statistical data that is just informational that I like for folks to have. And also, it's going to talk about some of the problem areas, some of which are here in District 6 in your district. We're going to talk about just traffic crashes in general, and we're going to talk about traffic crashes that involve injuries. So I'm going to give you some statistical information there. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the ways we address these issues. We're using some unique ways these days. We're using some of the more traditional ways that we always have because they're impactful. But we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about our app, how to message us in real time, let us know something, and how to actually interact with a human being that's going to give you an email back very quickly. And the 2 best ways for you to call us. And I'm gonna close with that because I want that to be the thing that you, if you don't hear anything else, I want you to hear that. So statistical data, played this game with my 24-year-old daughter about an hour ago. Which intersection in the city of Florence do you think has the most traffic crashes, has had the most traffic crashes over the past 5 years?
Indian Springs.
Indian Springs, we have an Indian Springs.
Darby Drive and Cook Creek.
Cox Creek and Darby. We're gonna do it like a game show. Can we get some? Give me two more if anybody thinks there's something different, one different.
72 in Darby. 72 in Cox Creek.
Boulevard and Cox Creek, yes, that's up there. One more for fun. Helton and Cox Creek. We have a winner. Who had Helton and Cox Creek? You crushed it. Over 5 years, we've had 171 crashes at that intersection. That's a lot. You can do the math, and that's a lot through the years. So I've got the top 10 intersections here. Forgive me, sometimes I get blurred on where the lines of the district are. So I'm just going to share with you all 10. So Cox Creek and Helton comes in at number 1. Cox Creek and Florence Boulevard comes in at number 2. Not too far behind that one. Cox Creek and Chisholm. You see a theme? Anybody see a theme here? Cox Creek and Cloverdale. It's like you're just going down Cox Creek. Cox Creek and Darby. Then we get a little bit of a break here, and how about this one? Cloverdale Walmart intersection. How about that one? Little bitty intersection, having a pretty big impact on crashes. We'll talk a little bit more about that one in a few minutes. I know that doesn't necessarily impact all you guys, but it's worth talking about because who doesn't go to Walmart, right? So Florence Boulevard and Darby, Florence Boulevard and Huntsville Road, Cox Creek and Huntsville Road, and Veterans Drive and Ironside. So that one sounds weird, but think Singing River Bridge in front of Nancy. All right, that's where that happens. And that's our top 10 crash producers in the city. So obviously the theme is Cox Creek, right? So funny little story, when we go to eat after church, we usually end up in the mall area. And my wife gets on to me because I like to cut behind the mall and go the back way through Rickwood, back to North Florence where we live. She's always like, well, isn't it a lot faster to go down Cox Creek? And I was like, well, I don't like going that way. And I never have a good answer, honestly. And we ran this most recent data just in the past 2 weeks. And so this afternoon while we were having dinner, I said, hey, you know why I don't like to go that way? Top 5 intersections are Cox Creek crashes. So we're just trying to be safe, right? So I'm not telling you to avoid those areas because it's very difficult to avoid those areas and interact with the city. But the things we try to do, and hopefully you see us doing those things, and some of them are just very simple. It's just presence. Having a black and white police car that's there, because when you guys are driving and when I'm driving and I see that police car there, I'm automatically thinking, hey, they're trying to get me. They're trying to catch me running this red light or pulling out in front of this car. Oh yeah, one other thing we're going to talk about, or being on my phone while I'm driving. That's a deterrent effect. That's how we describe it. It's just something that lets folks know that, hey, you probably don't need to do these things because there's going to be a consequence. So there's deterrence. Obviously, there's enforcement. So we try to write as many citations, as many tickets as we can at those intersections. Most of them are for red lights or vehicles that are failing to yield the right of way to another vehicle, like pulling out in front of folks. A lot of them involve texting and distracted driving. Some of those are titled following too close, driver inattention, misjudging stopping distance is one. When I'm just going to be honest with you, in many of those cases, they're not misjudging their stopping distance. They looked up and they were in the back of a car because they were on their phone. That's the case a lot of the times. And we've had a little campaign going for the last couple of months on that. We've written, at last count, we wrote 70 tickets for texting while driving, whether it's a city code or a state code, over a period of about 2 months, which was an increase, and that's going to increase. We're going to continue enforcing that one. So there's enforcement and then education. We try to do that in a lot of different ways. If we pull someone over, they get a little bit of education. They might not get a ticket in that instance, but they'll get some education of, hey, here's why we pulled you over. That's the number one reason for crashes, or we give them some data to back up what we're doing. So there's education. We use our app. We use our social media platforms to educate folks about dangerous driving and our crash causers and things of that nature. We're actually about to add, Josh doesn't know this yet, but we're going to add some pretty neat footage. because you can use, we have drones, we have a pretty good fleet of drones that we use for a lot of things. One, we're gonna start using it more for some of our public service announcements as it relates to what I like to call things I don't want people to do while they're driving. Blocking intersections, causing problems there, that's a crash causer. Obviously texting while driving. But from the air, you can really paint the picture of a stop sign of people running those stop signs. We're actually enforcing traffic that way, so there's not a police car anywhere, but if they happen to look up, that's where they get caught running that stop sign, and they're always very surprised when they get pulled over and get a ticket for it. So we're doing some unique ways, methods to do that. I talked about the drone footage, the education, and our traffic signs. So anybody on Gresham Road, that area, I think that's one of the most recent locations where we put those. They're designed, one, to slow people down, because when they see that, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm going too fast. But they also track traffic data. We can set it to where it counts the number of cars, it counts the speeds and the ranges, and we can set it to where if the speed limit's 50, how many cars were over 50. And we're able to pull that data later on, but we try to leave it out long enough to get a really, really good sample on that. So I don't know that we've pulled the data from that one yet, because I believe it's still out there. But we move those around town, and that's based off of the information that we get from you all. So if we get a lot of calls about X street, that prompts our cops unit, those folks that do the special things, to one, get that trailer and move it to that location. You probably saw it on Jackson Road for a really long time. There are several accidents that happen there, but people just drive too fast on that one. So that was there for a deterrent effect more than anything else. So know that that's some tools that we can use to help you if you're having these issues in and around your neighborhood, or if it's on your path to work or church or wherever, and it's just that intersection where you say that thing that we all say, hey, somebody's going to get killed. We can help you with that, at least to try to impact that in a positive way. All right, we're going to play the game again. We're back to that section. What is the number one intersection in the city of Florence over the past 5 years that has had crashes with injuries? Darby and Cox Creek. All right. Give me one more, somebody.
I would say Hilton and Cox Creek. We were just coming down Hilton, turning left onto Cox Creek. The sun was in our eyes. We could not see. I said, is the air still gray? He said, I don't know, I can't see it. We had to go ahead and turn. So that's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a dangerous
It
situation.
is dangerous, but what can you do about it?
Well, so we're gonna make this game shorter. That's the red light at Walmart on Cloverdale Road. And in the last 5 years, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but each one of these is an injured person, at least one. 11. There were 11 injury crashes at that intersection. I can't remember exactly when that intersection became an intersection, but I believe it was past 5 years. Florence Boulevard and Cox Creek's number 2, right in there at number 2. Huntsville and Cox Creek, Chisholm and Rickwood, and many of the others are on that list. So that was just for informational purposes for you. A lot of times, sometimes we'll think, because some of these I'm like, I can't believe that intersection's not on there. But I think sometimes we'll make an assumption. I know sometimes I do, but the data, that's why we are data driven, and we try to use data to make our decisions and where we put our resources. So be honest, raise your hand if you've had an issue and the police haven't done anything about it. Be honest, I'm a grown up, I can handle it. Got one, good. So number one way you're having a problem in that moment, write this number down. 256, obviously. 760-6610. That's our communications division, our dispatchers, our call takers, 911 operators, whatever you want to call them. They are manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are anxiously waiting for your phone call. They are the first people that tell all of our cops where to go. Our shifts now, we're in good shape, personnel-wise. We average about 12 officers per shift. That includes night shift. You need that many officers for the issues we have. They answer about 122 calls every 24 hours, and that adds up. But they're out there, and they're out there for you. They're doing patrols, and they're answering calls for service, and they're working traffic and doing all the things that we've talked about here tonight. But if you call that number in the moment that you're having the issue that you are having, an officer will respond quickly, very quickly. There's another way. Who has the Florence Police Department app? Raise your hand. We got to do better than that. So, Josh Mesa, my lovely assistant back here with the awesome beard, he can show you exactly how to download this app on your phone. It's free. It costs you $0. And when you open that app up, right dead center, it says message us. That's what it says. Message us. You click that. Yes.
Is it on the Play Store? If so, what's it called?
Florence, Alabama Police Department. It'll have our seal. You'll recognize it when you see it. Has that service honor excellent seal on it. So it's on both platforms, both of the big app platforms. But dead center, it says message us. And when you click that, there's an email. You click the email, and literally that email goes to a group of people that solve problems. And that if they're like me, and most of them are, their phone will go ding, and they'll get that email. You'll get a response back very quickly. Hey, we've received your message. They may ask you additional information, but you'll make that contact with a person. And that's when the conversation will start. And this is more for ongoing problems. Hey, this keeps happening. There's this one person. There's this, this house that's a problem. Whatever it is, whatever the issue is that we can help you with. A lot of issues we can't help you with. But if it's something that law enforcement can do something for you, that's the second best way to get in touch with us. And that app, it has some other stuff that you might find interesting. And I'll be honest with you, the thing a lot of people like, not me so much, but if you want to see who got arrested in the last 24 hours, it's on there. Don't be mean. Don't be mean, but it's on there. So that's one of the things that gets the most hits, by the way. But a lot of other features on there, crime map, weather, traffic cameras. We have several here. You can view those. It's really, really cool. But if you need help doing that, Josh Mason in the back afterwards will be happy to help you kind of set that up. So I believe that is all the things that I have. I believe, Ms. King, you want us to have questions at the end, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time. All of us will be around if you have questions for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Holt. Now we are going to let Todd Sullivan in our engineering department come up and speak with you, of course, about Christian Road. I know everybody wants to hear about that, and some other issues, and then we'll save questions for the end, and we'll get those answered for you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. My name's Todd Sullivan. I'm the Assistant City Engineer. Now, I'll say, following Chief there, I mean, we don't have a cool app or any good stats. I mean, we're engineering, and if I was to get really in the details of engineering, everybody would be asleep here in about 5 minutes. So
He has better hair, though.
But I will say, for this area, the engineering department, if you're spoke with many districts before, and the biggest questions and the biggest calls we get from the people in this area, most of it is drainage issues, and that is what our department can help you with. If you are having issues with drainage, you can give our department a call. If it is, we can come out, we can look at it. Not all issues are public drainage issues. That is the kind of one of the big misconceptions there. And if it is, there's a difference with where we can work. The city can get off the right of way where roads travel down. We typically, the right of way is about 7 to 10 feet past the edge of curb. So when you're looking at your property down through there, that is kind of what the right of way is. Now, also, the city has easements, because honestly, most of y'all have curb and gutter in your subdivisions. You see storm drains. Those storm drains lead usually to the back of your property. There are other avenues for that water to go down. Those are in a drainage easement. Typically, those drainage easements are about 25 foot wide. That is the area that the ditch is. It's a little wider than the ditch, because if we ever have to get in there to clean one out, if there's a blockage, we need, our street department guys need room to work. So that gives them a little bit of room. So those are the areas that the city can legally get off the road, is in a drainage easement down there to do any kind of work where there is some kind of blockage. So those are the areas we can. Now, If you're having issues from other ways, you know, like I said, give our department a call. We'll be glad to come out, look at it, see if there's anything we can do to address it, and take it from there. So I'll say that is one of the calls that we get the most. And honestly too, a lot of the issues kind of fall out of that. So that is one of the hard parts of our job too, is that you see somebody that is having some kind of issue, whether it's just the way the land lays, hills, and there's not a lot the city can do. Our hands are tied if we're not in one of those easements. And it's tough to see that, you see somebody's having a problem, but it is out of our hands there. So, like I said, our office is available there. We can come out, we can look at it, and if it's something to address, we will gladly do that. The other issue, and what everybody in this room wants to talk about, that's been the hot button project that we have going on in this district, is Grisham Road at the roundabout. The last time I spoke to this group, I had a set. We had just got the set of construction drawings that showed the phases of construction when the project starts, of how traffic will navigate that intersection during the different phases of construction. So a little update on where we are on the project. We have a complete set of drawings now. We're in the phase of acquiring right of way. Currently, there are four sections there, four different parcels that we need a little bit more room there to work. So to get the actual roundabout in, the properties there on the corner, so we're in the process of acquiring that, getting that land appraised. So that is kind of where we are on it as far as any kind of update, new news on that. There's no more, like I said, we've got a final set of plans. So we're hoping to, once we get the right of way acquired, then we can take that back to city council and proceed right along. One other update that we were working with the councilwoman is putting some kind of signal or signage along Grisham Road in the meantime. And that is one thing that we're looking at, is putting some kind of detection signage up to where if you're traveling down Grisham Road, that you will be able to know it will be flashing when there is a car in the intersection at Seville, at that intersection there. So that will also just kind of be a friendly reminder there to the traveling public that, hey, there is a car in the intersection there. So we are looking at some different things to help notify and help make that traveling public aware that's traveling down Grisham. Those are, and then the other issue that we do get from different people is speed cushion requests. And we have a procedure that we go through our office, that if you are wanting to request a speed cushion in your area, we have a certain criteria of those. You've got to make sure that we don't have too many cars, or there's a certain volume that we're looking at. It's got to be on a residential road. We meet the requirements there. We'll put out a traffic counters similar to what Chief was talking about. Now these don't have the flashing and give you your speed as you go, but it keeps up with the same data, keeps up with speed, keeps up with the numbers. So we put those out, and then if it falls into the range that we're looking for, the biggest thing we're looking for is how many people are driving over the speed limit, obviously. And there's a certain percentage that if there's 85% of the people are traveling a certain miles over the speed limit, then that kind of triggers the next phase of getting a set of speed cushions. So once you get the speed study done, if it meets our requirements, then we'll go along, and then it's up for a petition. There'll be a petition, and that has to be signed by all the homeowners in a certain stretch where the cushion will be placed. And then at that point, if it gets enough signatures, then we can send that on to the street department, and they will install those speed cushions. So those are usually the most interesting, I would say, things that the engineering department does. And we get the most questions from the public on. I mean, that is, those are our biggest requests looking back at all our calls. So at this point, I probably have that was all I have. I have probably more questions than I can talk to. So, and we'll take those at the end. So, if you do have any questions, like I said, on the roundabout, on the speed cushion, or any kind of drainage issues, let our department know. I mean, you live out in these areas. It is very hard when you do have a drainage issue for somebody in the engineering department to catch it. You wouldn't think it would be, but when that water hits its peak, it is tough for us to be out there. By the time, if you call when it starts raining and said, hey, it's raining, I have an issue, most of the time, by the time we've got there, the water has gone down and we don't have it. So video and pictures, that is the best thing that if you are having some kind of drainage issue, the more video and the pictures that you can give us so we can kind of see what it is doing in those times, and then we can put that on our list as well to try to, when we know that we're fixing to have an event, be aware, try to get out to these areas. So if you are having some kind of drainage, problem there, pictures and video are worth a lot for us. So.
Where do we turn those into?
You can call our office or come down to our office if you have pictures. Our emailing is the best way probably to give us those pictures. You can go on our website. If you go to the city's website under engineering, any of the, we have a main line or a main contact there that you can email those to, and those will be distributed throughout our office.
I am going to ask, if you do email, please include me in that email as well, so that I can keep track of what's going on. I think what we'll do is open up questions and let Chief Holt answer any. Does anybody have any questions for the police department? Okay, we'll let him come up and get in and answer those first.
Okay, yes, sir.
I've got several questions, so in respect to other people's time, you want me to ask them all, or just for now?
Yeah, be respectful of those people's time, but if you have police questions, here I am, I'm holding the microphone, I'm happy to answer.
First, I appreciate you having the meeting. Thank you for the city people to come out to the meeting. Thank you for the church to allow us to have it. And thank you, everything you said, obviously no one would disagree with. I think safety is the most important thing we could talk about. But I didn't hear you mention, and tell me if I would be wrong, does an increase in traffic add to the safety aspect of accidents?
So, I would have to say anecdotally, I haven't looked at data on that, but I do know that the more people you have, the more issues you have. So I guess that's a pretty good parallel, so.
So my concern is as we go, I'll just tie this into the roundabout so I can get done. At the last meeting, the engineer gentleman, he's polite and professional, he said, well, this road currently has 5,900 vehicles a day. If we put the roundabout in, you could have 15,000 cars. Now, my question is that how Florence is going to go ahead and go forward with their development to set? Number one is, what are you going to do if you get the cars through the roundabout? What are you going to do at Middle Road in Florence Boulevard? You going to back up 20, 25 cars deep? That doesn't make, and then, is that the way they're going to look forward when they overdevelop for a 2-lane highway and they'll say, well, we'll just put in a roundabout? That is not the safest and the best way to go for the public at large to continue to develop that way.
So I do want to share 2 statistics with you. I started talking about, and I can't talk about engineering. I can barely spell engineering, so I'm not even going to try that. But I do know about traffic, and the way we collect data is helpful for us. Because like I said, even I will make, as a department head, as a chief, I'll be like, well, we have way more crashes at this place than the other. And then sometimes my folks have to say, well, no, boss, we really don't. And it comes from data. So I want to share 2 statistics with you because I knew this would come up tonight, and I didn't know if I was going to share it or not, but I think it's appropriate. So I gave you the top 10 locations for wrecks in the city. And I think we all kind of agreed those are pretty dangerous places as far as crashes go. Over that same 5-year period, the intersection of Gresham and Seville had 2 crashes. I gave you the top 10 list, and I confirmed this twice today because I almost didn't believe it. Gresham and Seville came in at 837th out of the intersections, because it had 2 crashes over a 5-year period. There were other crashes within, a mile or several blocks, either back on Seville or in either direction of Gresham. I think it was a total of 7. None of them were impacted by I've looked at the record reports and the drawings. None of them had anything to do with the intersection. So more people could be more issues. It could be more crashes. I don't think it's finite. I don't think it's a definite, but it's a possibility. It's definitely a theory or a hypothesis. So we have another, so I don't count the roundabout that's at the mall, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. The city of Florence, I don't think had anything to do with that. That was a private, and I will just tell you, I think it's bad design. I think it's a bad location. If anybody represents that tonight, I sincerely apologize to you. But it's, that's not the standard, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's not our garden variety roundabout, but I feel like Huntsville Road and Royal Avenue is. So I asked our folks to run some data on that particular one. And let me make sure I get the right sheet of paper out here. Bear with me. Don't want to be right. Okay, I'm going to wing it, but I know these numbers. So that roundabout came here in 2019. That was 7 years ago. So they ran the number of crashes that we've had in that intersection or impacted by that intersection during that 7 years. And it was 8. I think it was 8 crashes. So they ran the 7 years prior, no, it was 7. And they ran the 7 years prior to that when it was just a stop sign and a weird intersection, and there were 18. So I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but I can tell you that the data says that after the roundabout was put in that location, crashes were cut over half. Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you bringing that up because they tried to bring that up at another meeting that we had. You're talking about a completely different set of traffic flow. If you try to compare Royal down there at that one, which I think works great, but it's because there's very little traffic flow. What you're talking about putting up here on this road is 10, 20 times going to be more of the traffic flow there.
Again, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to speak to that part. I can only give you the data. Maybe it's not apples and oranges. Maybe it's apples and green apples. I don't know. But that's the best I can do on that. But for that specific intersection in question, 2 crashes over 5 years, that's not a lot of crashes. Anecdotally. Any other questions for me? Yes, sir.
For traffic, chief, considered no left turn off of Cox Creek onto Gresham? From the south
I heard that's been
Cox
spoken
Creek.
about in a group. So that could, I guess it's a possibility. I think that's more of an engineering question.
And that might be a little better than $2 million for a roundabout and an acquisition of property. Or make that a one-way from Mall Road to Cox Creek, and then you don't have any traffic accessing it from Cox Creek.
So there was a study done, we looked at the Cox Creek and Gresham Road. That's a state intersection, and at the time was county road there. So we were looking at the traffic turning, had a traffic engineer, Skipper out of Birmingham do a evaluation on that. The traffic, looking at doing a right, if you were coming off Gresham, to do a right turn off of Gresham onto Cox Creek, and the only way then you would be able to access Gresham was a right turn off of Cox Creek. And the issue that they said, we did not go with that. Their studies showed that we needed to leave that intersection open because if all the traffic that is turning that was turning left onto Gresham Road, if they go up to Mall Road, that intersection would not be able to handle between the intersection of Mall Road and Cox Creek, and then at Gresham and Mall Road, those 2 intersections would not be able to function, the traffic along Cox Creek would build up. So that was studied, and that was the reasonings and what we found from that study from the engineer.
A lot of on Gresham Road that are hinged horizontally and have the police department come out at the particular time of day to open them up to stop the traffic on on Gresham Road so people on Seville can access it during a busy time. You haven't looked at
For a
that?
manpower,
That's a lot less than $2 million for a.
that would be pretty labor intensive, or as assigning officers to go to a specific location for an undetermined amount of time. I don't have all the details of your idea, but one thing about a roundabout, the traffic doesn't stop, the vehicles don't stop. They slow down, or else they won't make the curve, and they're not stopping. Yeah, you'll, I'll just say my opinion of that is, a stop sign or a traffic signal of any other kind is probably more dangerous, in my opinion, 30 years in law enforcement, based off of the vehicles do not stop. And that's not even if everybody operates it properly, because some people they'll stop, but they shouldn't. But when traffic continues to flow, you won't have a situation where one vehicle is pulling out in front of perpendicular of another vehicle, and that's your most dangerous crashes. That's the ones that cause the injuries. What other questions for me do you guys have?
I have one, and my question is, what does the city have for plans to improve the intersection of Rickwood and Helton, especially when school lets out? Because the traffic has completely blocked up Rickwood so bad that people are turning out into the middle of the intersection on Helton to turn left, and the flow is completely a mess, like every afternoon between 2 and 5:30.
Is that a state? So the state sets the red lights for the state highways, and Helton Drive is a state highway, just like Cox Creek and a lot of those. So you remember there was a time about a year ago where all of a sudden the turn lanes seemed like they were either holding longer or like they were holding for 8 seconds, and by the time you looked up from your phone, the light was, that's a joke. Thank you for the 2 penny laughs I got. But yeah, by the time you went on, 2 cars made it through, and then you were waiting again. So that was not the city, that was the state.
Rickwood is a city road.
Correct.
Okay, it's literally 2 lanes. There's not a turn lane to turn left. There's not a turn lane to turn left. If you're coming from Darby towards Helton, you get to that intersection and there's no way to turn left safely. And people are just pulling out in intersections, and then half the time everybody speeds around here so fast that they just blow through red lights. And I'm sorry, I'm 47 and I'm getting old, and I'm probably one of the youngest people in the room. And I just wonder if the city has any plans to do anything to try to improve, especially possibly making Rickwood into a 4-lane.
Well, I can't give you 4 lanes, but I'll give you 3 lanes.
I could handle a 3-lane, man, I'd give you anything.
So there was now this project will be going from Chisholm to Hilton. Grayson Carter was awarded a contract, and there will be, hopefully work will probably start this spring on the improvement. It has been 10, 11 years in the waiting. So there will be improvements from Chisholm to Helton. It will have a turn lane down the middle. There will be some intersection work on the east side of Helton Drive there. So that will, like I said, that will hopefully help. I don't know if it's the issue that you're talking about in particular there, I don't know if it will address it directly, but there will be some work done at that intersection. So that work will hopefully start this spring. That is what we're hoping for.
And how we can help you is increase our traffic enforcement. That was the intersection that I said, yep, that's gonna be our number 1. I really felt like it was going to, but it came in, I don't even know if it made it in the top 10,
I felt sorry.
but clearly it's an issue.
Like, I felt sorry for the guy in the white automobile just hanging out there waiting for I know he shouldn't have pulled out, but like I've gotten to where I stop, right before like where the billiards used to be, like right there where, I don't know, where I used to go to, where I'm talking about, like Bruin, and before you get to the gas station, I stop before you turn into the gas station to try to help the overflow of people that are trying to get in that way. But it's gotten to the point where I just try to go any which way but that
So you're
intersection.
talking about you'll stop and let people get in, so hey, have
Absolutely.
y'all heard the rule on that? Yes, does anybody know the saying? Red, go ahead, green, be mean. If the light's green and you're letting people go, don't do that, because you're
I'm just making sure that.
I'm having fun with you. I'm
I'm
sorry.
just making sure that there's, like, I'm doing everything I can to keep
I understand.
congestion.
So what we will do, I made a note that we'll give more attention to that, so you should be seeing more police officers in that area to maybe deter some of that behavior and maybe enforce some of it as
But
well.
traveling from Darby to Hilton, we are getting a turn lane to go left onto Hilton south.
That is what I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. That is a issue. You're not the first person that has brought that issue up, and a lot of it has to do with, we only control half that intersection. And the state does, we don't, their hands are tied as well with a little more than ours. So I don't remember off the top of my head what that intersection looks like on Darby, because we went through so many iterations. But if you will get with me afterwards, I will get your contact information. I can look at those plans tomorrow and let you know what that's going to look like.
Anything else for me? Yes, sir. That's right, rock star.
Sure you don't want to be an engineer? Yes, sir.
John, when you were talking about speed cushions
Yes.
on Cushing Road, is there a maximum number of vehicles that they, can't go over a certain number?
Yes, so traffic cushions are only on residential road. Its speed limit has to be 30 miles an hour or lower, and then no more than 2,000 cars. Once a road gets over 2,000 cars, we don't really consider that a residential road per se anymore. So that's 2,000 cars a day.
Way over.
So,
Yeah. Way over.
yes, yeah. Yes, sir.
On the roundabout there at Seville and Gresham Road, is that a 2-lane or a 1-lane?
It's a single lane. It is a single lane. It's a single lane roundabout. So,
And I'm not an engineer, and I appreciate statistics, but like the gentleman over here, the roundabout at Royal Avenue and the roundabout on Gresham Road are two complete different animals. And in doing that, and I think sometimes some places have gone roundabout crazy. They're nice if they work, and I hope that if it goes in there, I hope that everybody that is opposed to it has to come back and say we were wrong. But the bottom line, if it's wrong, and you can't go in there and scoop it up and bring it back to where it was before. And the next question is Gresham Road all the way down? I know you've got St. Florence, you've got the county, you've got the city of Florence, all have boundaries on Gresham Road. And it's like no one wants to give up their share it's kind of like, I think the county kind of likes, we hope you do something to it, we won't have to pay for it. I think that's pretty well where it is. But on the roundabout, if you're wrong, it's a big wrong. If you're right, everybody will be so happy. The problem is, when it's wrong, it's a lot more to take care of. And, I think what it will do, it will sure deter some people from using, if it's wrong, using Gresham Road, because it will be, I would hate to live in Hunter's Ridge. And we have some friends that live there. I'm not sure that they decided to build there and buy there or whatever with the idea that one day this is a roundabout. Now, I know it's been talked about for several years, but all those statistics has to do before those new apartments were put in, before Church of the Highlands was an actual happening. And I know that's basically on Sunday, but at the same time, Gresham Road is a big problem. And I don't have to go there every day, because I'll just choose not to. But if the folks that have to go that way, or that's the way, if this is wrong, it's a big wrong. If it's right, we'll salute.
So the statistical information, I should have been more clear. It was from January 2020 until December 31st, 2025.
But those apartments are not done yet.
So,
Oh, the ones that are being built.
Yep, they're not done yet.
well, a couple of questions on that as well. One, earlier, when I said 15,000, right now we have 5,000 cars on there, and when the roundabout goes in, you said 15. The roundabout can function up to 50. The traffic won't increase from 5,000 to that. The roundabout will be able to handle traffic flows upwards around 15,000. That is, we're not predicting that as soon as we put that roundabout in, that there's gonna be 15,000 cars there. But that we are future-proofing. I mean, well, kind of like you said, we don't want to put something in. I mean, if there's one department that doesn't want to put something in that's not going to work, it is the engineering department. I mean, and we're not the only ones. We've hired a consultant. The roundabout in Sweetwater and the roundabout in Seville are, yes, there is different flows through there, but they're very similar in the same sense, as far as the traffic that comes into those roads. As far as there's only three sections, there's only three legs of the roundabout in Sweetwater. There is four in this one, and at this, but one of those is Hunter's Ridge, which is completely built out with 120 some homes. So it's not like there's anything in the future that there's going to be a huge amount of traffic coming in and there. So that has its going forward as well, as far as success as well. So, there's a lot of things I think that the roundabout has going forward that will be successful.
All right, but is Gresham Road gonna be improved all the way through?
No, and not at this time. So as of October 1, Gresham Road is a city street. So, up into that point, yeah, so, that is a city street. And, so that is, but at this time, the work will be done at the roundabout. Now, we're not doing any work that, hopefully what we look to do, any kind of future growth, because there was a corridor study for Gresham Road. So everything that we are proposing and being planned is based off of those studies and future growth.
Todd, as you know, and those of us who live on Gresham Road know very well, the only deterrent right now, and for the last few years, for people using Gresham Road as a cut-through, is the intersection at Middle Road. That's where it backs up every morning and every afternoon. So hopefully in the future, I know Jack was aware that we hope that there'll be some improvement at that intersection eventually.
I have a 8-year-old's basketball game starting in a few minutes, so I want to say a few comments and then go. Mr. Valentine, appreciate your comments, and sir, appreciate your comments as well. Please understand, with the roundabout is only one portion of everything that needs to be redeveloped in that area. You are absolutely right. Long-range plan. The answer is yes. We want improvements, probably because of the concrete electricity poles in there. We're probably looking at a 3-lane road at best on Gresham Road, curbs and gutters and cleaned up. That needs to be and is part of the long-range plan. Todd mentioned getting state money on Rickwood was a 10-year process. We want to do as much of this as we can without it, because state money costs a lot of money, but it does take us a long time. And the roundabout at that intersection is priority one. Then we have to move to a solution at Middle Road in Gresham. We don't own that. So we're working with what's called the Metropolitan Planning Organization. It's the entire Shoals area kind of gets a pot of money. And we want, as a collective group, to come up with a solution for that intersection. Because when we fix it, and we will with the roundabout, and I'll come back to that, at Gresham and Seville Street, we still have a problem at Middle Road in Gresham. And then after we have that, we have a problem at Middle Road and 72 that is going to require the state. So we need a lot of help to do this. Skipper and Associates is the traffic engineer consultant that we use. He's the best in the state. He's the best probably in the Southeast. I mean, he's extremely reputable. They are able to run what I'm going to describe as AI models, where they can calculate the amount of traffic on a roadway, the average speed based on their speed studies, of what the cars are traveling, and they can put this model together and they can almost watch it work live, where they have these, I don't know, it's an artificial diagram, live AI model of traffic flowing along Gresham Road, coming up to a roundabout and moving traffic. How many cars at this speed can we move along that road? And they can run the same AI model if they're using a four-way stop. They can use the same data for a traffic light. And those guys who do this for a living can count what the maximum number of traffic a two-lane road, a single-lane roundabout can handle. And this, Skipper and Associates, the best traffic engineer out there, says, we've run our models and we know the amount of traffic that Gresham Road can handle through this roundabout, and they can check the timing of it. How far does traffic back up if it's a four-way stop? They can run that model out. And they tell us roundabouts are the solution for moving traffic. The 7 accidents that he talked about that is in East Florence at Royal and Huntsville Road, those crashes are not injury crashes. They are, in fact, some of those crashes are people backing out from, not the shopping area down near Stagg's Grocery. Some of they're backing out and they don't see the cars coming around, but they're minor fender benders. The traffic accidents that happen at roundabouts are not as serious. We don't want any of them to happen, but when they run those models, they can tell the difference. And this is the guy who says you can take what he says to the bank, because they run all the engineering models and the AI models, and they show us how much traffic this will work. Can we make it work with a roundabout on Gresham Road? We absolutely can. We realize that he runs those models, hey, you got an issue at Middle Road in Gresham. And right now we don't have money. I think the roundabout's gonna be 1.3 million. It's a 1.3 million solution. We want to put that, we're working on a Rebuild Alabama grant. We're hoping to get $250,000 for that. I think that's, my numbers are right. I'm looking at him so we're hoping to get some help from the state right away. I would love for us to have in the 26-27 fiscal year budget some funds to make this roundabout happen. But it's phase 1. It's solution 1 to a greater problem. Then we have to go and work with the county and St. Florine and the state on Middle Road and Gresham, and then we have to go there. So we are asking for patience, that you bear with us. I'm glad you don't live on Rickwood where you've had to wait 10 years for a solution. But when we work with those consultants, they give us great data to show us, and I'm gonna look at you in the face, and you and I know each other. We've sat down together and had lunch together. That roundabout's gonna work because his data and those AI models can show that working. But it's not the only solution, because it's what problems does your solution cause? We're aware of that. I used to ask my staff that. All right, when we come up with a solution, what problems will it cause? And it just shifts it down until we can come up with an entire plan for that area. And we have a lot of work to do. We're going to have to bring other people into it. Katie has a question, I'm sure.
I don't mean to correct you, but we have waited 10 years.
Already waited 10 years, been talking about it a long time. And it's time to move forward. There's no doubt about it. It's time for us to move forward. It takes a long time. We know it does. It's turning the Titanic is a poor way to describe it, because it takes longer than that. But we are working on that. We don't want to put a temporary solution in there that a traffic engineer and the federal numbers show us, hey, this is dangerous. It's safe. It's going to slow traffic down. I mean, he can tell us you're not going to like what's going to happen there. So we're hoping that the temporary solution with the lights that draw attention to Gresham and Seville, that, hey, there's a car here, slow down, and Todd, you may have to explain more what it is. We're hoping to get a contract before the council very soon for that solution that's going to draw attention to slow down when you get near this intersection. There's people here, and we want to raise awareness as people approach that, hopefully to slow them down and make it safer as they pass through there. Somebody else raised a...
There's 2 things that I would ask, or that I would comment on. Number one, being that I live in that subdivision, as do many, we already, when we pull up there and there's cars coming both ways, sometimes they're 8, 10 cars deep. If you had a roundabout, they're not far enough apart to even allow Seville and Hunter's Way to empty out. I mean, right now we sat there sometimes a while to feel safe to pull out. So what's going to slow them? Because we already know that the general public has a problem with yielding. It's like when they're supposed to yield, they speed up or they get closer together.
So your question, is it about physical space? How much? And that's some of the right of way that we're trying to obtain to create enough space there so that roundabout would work that way.
But how are you going to, unless you discourage, and that was my other comment, why not try first a temporary basis of something that will discourage? We all know that Gresham for many years, we've moved many times and we've used Gresham as our pass-through. So why can something not be done to discourage the pass-through so that the ones of us that have no choice but use it have better means of getting in and out, safer, and we're not dealing, because technically Seville and Hunter's Way deal with the bulk of the traffic. It's not the straight through, it's the side
Your
roads.
suggestion is how to keep everybody off of Gresham Road. except
No,
those
sir,
two.
that is not what I'm suggesting.
I misunderstood you. That's what I.
Okay, what I'm saying is, why can there not be some type of solution that will discourage through traffic? And we've been told that a speed bump is not the answer, okay? Why can't we brainstorm and try some other things?
Well, and I think that's what the gentleman asked about, can we not have the no left turn off of Cox Creek and the state's not supporting to reduce the traffic flow? I mean, I don't think we're gonna get help from the state to try to reduce, to take measures along Cox Creek or Florence Boulevard at the middle road to reduce the traffic there. I don't know that we're gonna get that assistance and we can't move forward.
They Gresham one way for a viewing period. I guarantee you would see a huge reduction in traffic through there.
Yes, and we're.
That's
you
just a
have to
common,
understand as a
that's just a
community, we're
common attitude
responsible.
there, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. But we're responsible for efficient movement of traffic for everybody, not just everybody in that area. Those apartments are Hunter's Ridge. I mean, it's the other people in the community who like to use that also want to be able to have it. And so we have to be considerate of those as well. So we acknowledge that. I used to tell the police department when I was the chief there that the source of all conflict is unmet expectations. If you ever figure out what the conflict is, it's at Bentbrook from a neighbor who's building an apartment. You have an expectation he's not meeting and it causes conflict. Hey, we need traffic help at Gresham and Seville Street. It's when you have expectations of, I need it to be safe, I need the traffic to flow, and when city government doesn't provide that, we don't meet your expectations. It's a source of all conflict. We know what that is, and I promise, and I would commit to you all, we are working diligently. Miss King has told us every time somebody has contacted her with a complaint about, help us, let's come up with a solution. We are working on a regular basis. I meet every single day during the week with department heads about what's the issue, what progress have we made, what's the next thing. At the end of 4 years from now, you may go, he didn't get anything done, and that may be the case, but I promise you, lack of communication among department heads and working with the council will not be the reason we're not effective, because we are trying to identify these issues, we're keeping them in front of us, having regular weekly updates on, hey, what's next, what do we need to be doing? So bear with us as we work. You've been waiting 10 years, Katie, I know you have, and we're on it. It's the new council, we're working as fast as we can. We're not gonna forget it. Yes, sir.
Hearing everything you're talking about, I'm a little disappointed in the committee, because all I'm hearing is reactionary things. I'm not hearing anything about the future. You have a big impact coming down the road. It's called Space Command. It's also the pharmaceutical company. I was in the nuclear industry. When a nuclear power plant came in, it affected counties and the things you had to do. There's no planning. I'm not hearing, yeah, we're doing this, we're gonna take care of this, but what are you doing down the road? Because you'll still be in the reactionary mode if you don't do planning.
100%, and we are. And here's what you're not gonna like to hear about. To plan ahead and make those changes now is gonna cost money. To make those changes is, I'll tell you what's what we're planning for down the road is a $135 million new water treatment plant. It's an unfunded federal mandate that we're having to plan for. How much money, how much cost do we want to continue to push on to you all? Because your water rates are going to increase substantially within this next term. And we have no choice, but so we're trying to plan on those things, but it's how much can I push your way and push the cost on to people of all these things? And we're aware of those, and we're trying to figure out where's the source of funding, where can we do it, and we want to get ahead of that for sure, because growth is moving east. I'm sorry.
You can get grants to help that, subsidize that.
Well, we're all fighting for those grants, for sure. That's the problem is all of us need them nationwide, and it's limited dollars, and we're every week looking for all the dollars that we can get to help. So, no, I want you to know, and I want to assure you, we are talking about reactionary things here. We're forecasting about what's ahead, what's coming. When it comes to gas and water, the water treatment plant's the big thing. The electricity department is trying to forecast what can we do to improve. And again, the answer is money. Now, what's the question? And it's just, we're trying to also be very conservative and fiscally, responsible with your dollars as we do that. And it's a balancing act that we're trying to manage very carefully. And we want to spend money wisely. We want to plan ahead. We want to fix problems that are here. And I tell you, every day, including today, there were people in my office saying, hey, my nonprofit doesn't have enough money. I need more money, or whatever the issue is. Everybody looks for money, and the city is doing everything that we can to try to deal with the problems that we have and plan ahead and make wise financial decisions. We haven't forgotten about planning for the future. It's just we're trying to balance multiple priorities all at one time. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. King. She's standing up. That was the hook for me to go, and I got to run off to a basketball game. Thank you all very much. I love having a crowd here. Congratulations to you all.
Okay, well, I've only been doing this for 2 months, but I'm going to try to answer any questions that you have. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Sure.
The new legacy apartments built on 43, is there going to be something to let people know there is a turnoff road over that hill from MPE?
That is a county road, and right there,
So who is?
that is a question that we are going to address with the county commission. That's going to be up to them.
I've driven that road for 13 years. Traffic is so heavy on 43.
47.
Is it 47? Yes. Oh, 47. Excuse me, I don't know what the name is. But it's so heavy because everybody from out of town comes that road and they go back out that road.
Well, that is kind of like Grisham Road. It's now become a cut through. So people coming from Green Hill, people coming from Tennessee are using that as a cut through. So that is something that.
And they speed.
Yes.
They speed a lot down that road.
Yeah.
So putting that turn in there, people coming from town won't see anybody stop going into that driveway.
Right. Is the county or the state?
That'd be county.
County, okay. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to Brad Black about that and some of the other county commissioners and see what we could do, because that has been brought up to me recently, yesterday actually, in a meeting with the contractor. So we are going to get that addressed and see what we can do.
Flashing light, something, or signage that just says hidden driveway or
Yes.
something.
And I'm sure that they can probably get that done. And if need be, after this meeting, I'll be glad to give you some numbers of the county commissioners as well.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, well, thank you.
I have one.
Sure.
I'm not gonna, what is the cost, projected cost of the new city hall?
We've not visited that yet.
Okay? One figure was 35 million, one figure was 50, one or two. And as the mayor talked about money, if we're looking, and I want everyone to have a nice place to work and big enough, but if we're looking at 135 million for water treatment, and we don't know where that's coming from, I'm not sure. I know we've already borrowed the money and we're paying interest on that, and I understand all of that. But I don't know that a $35 to $50 million city hall is an absolute 100% priority.
Well, that is something we're gonna be visiting in the future. That money can only be used for a city hall.
Right.
Or a theater, post office. There's only certain things that money can be used for. So we either have to use it for city hall, or we would have to give it back, because we can't use it for the water treatment plant, we can't use it
Oh,
for
I know that, I know
for
that.
roads.
I'm just saying, but the elephant in the room may very well be the city hall.
Yes, I agree.
And that nobody really wants to talk about. And
Well, we're gonna be talking about that. We just haven't got there yet, so, yeah. Go ahead.
What about the issues we have, the empty water tower and flooding? We have flooding issues around the water tower and also the strip mall.
That would be a question for engineering.
For the water, that would be TAD. You need to talk with TAD Cole on that. They have their own set of engineers for the water tower there. So
What's that?
He is he's over the water department.
Oh,
Yeah. I will get you his email address, and so that you can email him, and I have talked with him about that, and he was gonna send them out here. And so I guess they have not gotten out there. I didn't know that those were the state engineers, as you guys, okay. So we'll make sure to get that dealt with. Anybody else?
Thank you for all you've done and all you're doing, and even having this tonight. It's great to see a hard worker in office.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, I believe that to serve this community, you have to show up for it. And one of the things I'm doing is definitely showing up. I'm out pretty much every day doing something, it seems like, to try to serve this community. I am here for you. My goals are to do nothing else but to serve this community, hopefully get Grisham Road fixed, get some roads paved for our community. And I've enjoyed every day of the past few months already serving you. I'm honored to be here. Please reach out to me at any time. If you have not gotten my information at the front, please do. You can email me, call me, text me. If I don't respond, I will. But I'm here for you, so please call me at any time. And thank y'all so much for showing up, our department heads and the city council and everyone that came out tonight. We appreciate you.